As we do we use signs to tell what the most name. That doesn't in the power. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Miller. Here. Ms. Harris. Mr. St. Columbia. Mr. Etherly.
Hey.
Ms. Davis will not be with us this evening. Dr. Miller. We have 4 present and 2 absent. He's back at work, and he had told me he'd be here tonight, but I had,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Good evening. Mr. Mayor, Madam Clerk, Mr. City Attorney. I believe the first order of business is a resolution submitted to us by Mr. John Edwards, offering his assistance in our water crisis situation. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to review it, but I'll let him come forward at this time to kind of explain what it is and what it entails. Mr. John Edwards, thank you, sir.
And Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Valley, and to the Valley family, certainly thinking about all of y'all and the time of loss of your brother.
Thank you.
That's I know those things are tough. Mayor and members of the council, this resolution that we have before us tonight for your consideration, it actually goes back to some meetings that I had with the mayor starting last December. We started having meetings and discussions with ourselves and other entities that could help with grant funding. Again, this was December. January happens, and then we have a full-fledged crisis. And one of the things that this remark has always been attributed to the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy, but he's known for saying, don't ever let a good crisis go to waste. And we have been through a crisis. People, for the most part, have water now, but we are still in an emergency situation. And in the last week, State Director of USDA Rural Development, Jill Floyd, she and her staff, I've had some conversations with Mr. David Kirchner of the Rural Development State Office in Little Rock about some assistance that could come to Helena. There's no guarantees that the assistance will come forward, but we do have to apply. And so the resolution before you really acknowledges 2 things. And this is, to me, very critical for the council members and mayor to stay focused on. While we do have water now in the West Helena system, the emergency is not over. The emergency will not end by all of the technical advisors that I know and trust until such time as the new well is in place and we have more leaks fixed. When that happens, then I think we can put a stake in the ground and say, okay, we've gone from emergency to, a lesser degree of severity, but we are still in an emergency situation. And while we need to take full advantage of that, because it is my firm belief, speaking as a former state legislator and speaking as a former state director of USDA Rural Development, that one of the best times to receive funding, particularly grant funding, is in the midst of an emergency. This council has already taken action to approve the planning for the new well with Ken Weiland. This council has already taken action to put up million going towards the new well. These are very, very positive things. And the part of the resolution that deals with applying for USDA assistance, they have a special water emergency program. It's called Emergency and Imminent Disaster Program. We have the emergency because we have a well that's out. And tonight, one of the main reasons that we have water tonight for the West Helena people is that the mayor entered into an agreement to get water from Barton Lexus. So if you, the West Helena system from where the port office is on one side and then JB's Liquor on the other going west, those customers are being served by water that's coming from Barton Lexa. That's taking strain off of the West Helena system. But it's clearly an emergency. And what I hope we can do, and again, this is applying, this is not a guarantee, but there's this water emergency program. It has one component for that deals with wells. We could potentially get a maximum amount of $1 million. The other part deals with things like pipelines. It deals with things like in the plant. The maximum amount we could get there would be $150,000. Something else I like about this program, from what I know right now, and these are ongoing discussions with the state office and as Director Floyd has put forth. I hope if the council chooses to adopt this, I hope by the end of the week we will know that if we keep doing everything like we're doing, and if they approve this grant, we can get some reimbursement for some of the money we spend on the well. And now I don't want to go out there and say anything like that's done until, we've got to apply, we've got to submit the application, we've got to be in the SAM system for applying for the grants. And there's a form called an SF 424. I can help everyone with that. But I think it's a very unique opportunity for the city to lawfully and properly take advantage of this crisis and this emergency. And the question has been asked to me is like, well, why hasn't something like this been available before? Well, that's a good question. And the reason is when the cities merged, from that time until actually last October of 2023, because of the population limits that rural development has to deal with, the city was ineligible to apply for this assistance. So fortunately for us, the timing is good, and we've been reinstated as an eligible community. All of our numbers, are looking very positive on a preliminary side. But Mayor, one of the other things I like about this program is that if we stay focused on how we want the money done, they do have an expedited, simplified form versus the full roll form. And my advice to you and to your administration and to this council is that we stay on that expedited form given the emergency we're in, and we stick to the things that we could really need to focus on during this crisis, and then start looking down the road as we go into the next phase to looking at other loans and grants that are out there. So I will stop right now and take any questions that the council or anyone else may have.
Resolution number 4, the motion. Mr. Hampton moves to adopt. Is there a second? Mr. Miller seconds the motion. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Dr. Miller? Ms. Harris? Mr. Etherly?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia?
Yeah.
5 yes.
Mayor, if I may, can I share a little bit what I shared with you over
Yes,
the
sir.
weekend? So I think what y'all just did is another positive step to keep us moving forward with a sense of urgency till we get out of this emergency. But we are going to get out of this emergency. And when we do, we have to start thinking longer term. And one of the things that I provided to the mayor and his administration this weekend was I kind of laid out some recommendations for the city and the water department, what I call like emergency goals and short-term goals, and then intermediate term goals. And they're just some recommendations. But as we, and I define a short-term goal, something that is, it's not the emergency goals, but it's something that can be done, within a year. Intermediate term goals are things that take longer than a year and can go up to, 3 to 5 years. But we're going to have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. And I think as we get to the longer term goals, there are going to be some additional needs that are going to arise. And one of the things I put in this memo was that we're going to shift gears. We're going to need to shift gears on how we handle engineering. And this is nothing about Mr. Wallen at all. But when we get out of this emergency situation, we need to be looking at a request for qualifications for engineers. We need to put that out. I mean, it could end up being him doing all or some of the work, but one of the things I've shared with the mayor, whoever does the longer term planning, we've really got to get this right. This is one of the most critical decisions that a city will make. There's a lot of fine firms out there in this state. Whatever decision the city of Helena makes, I just want to make sure you get one of the best ones and the people that will serve the needs, because even when we get out of this emergency status that we're in right now, we've got the attention of the state. We've got the attention, in many cases, I think, of the nation. There's going to be a lot of people that will be very interested in supporting us, but we have to make sure that, we're putting out responsive reports to the folks who want to help us. We've got to make sure we do complete applications. And one of the things, about some of these firms and any engineer, and I've done this with Mr. Weiland, and I've done it with firms that I worked with all over the state when I was state director of rural development. But, engineers can be one of your partners in helping to develop applications. So just something to think about. And Mayor, one last thing, and I'll close, but I know the mayor and I at different times today had conversations with Mr. Chris Calclaser of the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission. And he did suggest that there could be a possibility of if Helena, and this is a very short fuse, but by Friday, there's a deadline to apply for some Arkansas Natural Resource funding. And Communities Unlimited, Mr. Calclaser suggested to me that he thought they might be able to help with that application. And over the course of the next weeks and months and years, if we're all fortunate enough to be here, we will have different people that will kind of do different things. You're going to all hear about East Arkansas Planning and Development helping on some ideas for funding for the city. They focus more with the Delta Regional Authority. They focus with AEDC and organizations like that. Communities Unlimited does more work with like USDA and ANRC. And it's kind of like, whether you want to call it a division of labor, it's just, how these organizations work. But we just need to mesh them all together. And I fully do believe that we should leave no stone unturned one of the dreams I have, if we're fortunate enough, there may be some private foundation money out there that could assist with our challenges. And depending on where it was and how it was, I would suggest that, money, if any money came in like that, that we use that money to either leverage grant programs. And I mentioned grants a lot tonight, and we just had a resolution on one, but I know I want us to get every penny of grant dollars that we can, but there is going to be the point in time that we will be taking out loan dollars too. So it's going to take, it's an all out effort, but Mayor, that closes out my comments subject to your questions.
Yeah, natural resources. Okay, so we got, I'm gonna give you a copy of the resolution. So we have natural resource resolution. What number is it? Number 5. Can we get a motion for resolution number 5? Mr. Evans, so moved. Mr. Seconds the motion.
This is resolution 5. What
Yeah,
it-
resolution 5 is to authorize the mayor to apply for natural resource emergency
discussion?
funds.
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
St. Columbia,
Yeah.
Harris,
Yes.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Etherly.
Yeah.
5 yes.
So we have another resolution, to approve the settlement of the case of the Phillips County versus Helena-West Helena. I know you all are just seeing this, but I'll let the city attorney explain this to you all.
Yes, this is a resolution, it's a resolution that was sent by the Arkansas Attorney Bill Mann. And it's a resolution that resulted from the mediation last week when City of Helena, West Helena and Phillips County came to an agreement relating to jail funds. And while there was a form to vote to accept it, we must accept it in an open city council meeting. And so the resolution is to approve the settlement that we agreed to the other day, last week in the mediation.
And so this is what we talked about in the meeting.
Yes, this is what we talked about at the mediation with the Phillips County representatives and 4 of the city council members and the mayor.
And that'd be one correction. At
Yes.
the last line, it'd be today's date.
Right, the last line he asked, 18th of July, 2024, would actually should say today's date.
The 6th of February, 2024.
Number 6,
One other correction.
what's the other question?
The last,
Yeah, paragraph F.
H. Well, no, which. Paragraph A says the county will exercise food faith should be good faith. Just a little typo.
Yeah, paragraph H. And that's another correction, paragraph F. No, that's right. Paragraph F is correct. Yeah. With those 2 corrections, do you all accept the amendments to the document?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept resolution number 6 with the amendments for H and for F.
This bill agrees to pass resolution number 6. Is there a second? Ms. Harris, second the motion with these changes on H, good faith. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Ms. Harris,
Yeah.
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia, Dr. Miller.
Yes.
5 yes.
All right. On the minutes, we're gonna move those to the meeting of the 20th. The clerk is still working on those, and I see we got a typo, we got 132, it should be 131 of
Okay.
2024.
Okay,
But that's that. We got a couple things on the water update. You should have a memo from the city treasurer telling you that he's made the CPI adjustments on our water rates. That's based on the current ordinance in effect in the city of Helena-West Helena. And based on those calculations, the difference in the water rate for the majority of people be 54 cents on water and 31 cents on sewer would be the increase based on the CPI, Consumer Price Index, which adjusts for inflation. And I hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but those numbers are still far below what's required to get our loans forgiven to become grants when you set your rate according to the median household income. And we're still awaiting the rate study to be completed.
Is that in the works? Or
My understanding is that the treasurer is pulling together the final information to be delivered to rural water such that they can complete a rate study. Yes.
So this is just information because we're needing to wait on that rate study.
Yeah, this is just, information on, and this happens every year. Based on the past ordinance, the rates increase consistent with inflation.
Right.
This clarification, this is happening, right? This increase is happening based upon cost of living.
Yeah, so it'll probably be on the next bill to go out. It'll be reflected, this 51 cents and 31 cents, or 54 cents.
Correct, because when 2019, when the ordinance was adopted, it was tied to the consumer price index, so whatever the consumer price index is, we raise the rates by that automatically each year for water, sewer.
Right.
That's what the ordinance says on water.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have Mr. Saeed Rose here, but before I go to him, Mr. Wyland, did you have a presentation?
I have some presentation from here to just answer questions and let you know that I'm making really good progress on the well.
Look, come so the people here can hear that. This the YouTube crowd.
And my kids always tell me I talk too loud. I don't have a specific report, but I just wanted to let everyone know that I made very good progress on the well. I can't talk to you about a lot of specifics, but I've been looking at a lot of specifics. You know, there's more to it than just sticking a hole in the ground, pumping water out of it. What capacity do you need? What's the capacity that you have? How much can the aerator take? You know, it doesn't do any good to have a 2,000 gallon minute well and a 1,000 gallon minute aerator. So all of those pieces and parts, where is a site that we're going to likely find a good production of water, that's in a spot where someone's going to be willing to give up their rights to that ground because you have to have a wellhead protection area. So there's a lot of things that have come together. I have a preliminary meeting with the state health officials to let them see where all of my calculations and planning have gone to make sure they don't see anything that I'm missing. And at that point, then I'm going to be ready to start refining another estimate with a contractor so that I can come back to this board with specifics, a specific location, a specific well capacity, how we're going to get the water from that well to the plant. That's another thing. You know, sometimes you can possibly reduce the power required if you increase the size of the line, but it's a balancing act. So those are the things that have been happening, and just wanted to make sure this council, because everyone I keep hearing, you know, Ken Wyland, got to hurry up with that well. So I just want to let y'all know I began immediately and have made very good progress on it, and I feel good about what I'm coming up with. And I hope by the end of this week, I'm going to feel even better after the health department officials come here and meet with me and we privately sit down, let me just show them what we got. So it's a good part.
on the 20th for the follow-up report.
The 20th of February, yes, sir, possibly.
That's our next council.
Yes, sir, possibly. I hope maybe I can come with some more specifics, yeah. Any questions? All right, thank y'all.
We have Mr. Saeed Rose, who the mayor has appointed the water superintendent for our water department. We'd asked him to come and give a brief introduction of himself. We announced at the last council meeting that the mayor had separated Mr. Murdoch as the general manager and restructured the water department. Well, Mr. Rose is running the management operation of most parts, and the mayor's office is providing support staff. Mr. Rose, if you would introduce yourself.
Thank you. First, I would like to say it's an honor to be here before you all as the new water superintendent. First, I would like to say I thank you for all the congratulations and the just words of encouragement, not only to myself, but to my guys. Forgive me, I'm a little nervous. It's my first time speaking before the council, but I just want to say we are making progress. We're getting a lot of work done. And so I'm gonna be speaking a lot to what's happening on the ground and what we're actually executing day to day. All right. My goal is to stay transparent and keep us all on the same page so we know where we're going. We see where we've been, but that's where we're going and the future of everything that's happening with the assistance and the help of Mr. John Edwards, the engineers, all of us working together. And so right now for West Helena, within the last 2 weeks, we have fixed 80 leaks. All right. The main goal with the assistance of Arkansas Rural Water has been leak detection, stop and loss. And so right now, our West Helena tank is at 68 and cycling. And so what that means is our plant runtime is down about 15 hours, 14 hours. And when we're looking at around 634 gallons lost, keep in mind about 300 of that is usage. So we're lowest that we've ever been on water loss in the West Helena system. We're looking at about 20 leaks right now, a little under 20 leaks. So I'm kind of going up a little bit, but most of these leaks are valves and fire hydrants. So you're gonna see us working a lot on repairing these valves and getting these fire hydrants to stop leaking or repairing them completely. Okay, and so we have a lot of more work to do, but one thing that I've noticed within this past couple of weeks, our response time is a lot faster. So it's going to constantly be a sense of urgency through this emergency, but also after this emergency, keeping that sense of urgency on everything that we're doing. There's been a great morale boost in the staff, and that has been helped me tremendously because we're all stepping up to the plate and doing more. All right. So,
Mr. Rose, when you say cycling in 15 hours, what's that compared to?
okay, so well, before the freeze, and I'm a predate back to December, we were looking at after we fixed so many leaks over the summer, and then going into the fall and kind of getting back to when it started getting cold, our plant time was back up to 24 hours. So our plant was constantly running. All right. So
that's the constantly running, it was running 24 hours a day.
It was running 24 hours a day, which is making the wells run more and so forth. And so with that,
but now that time is down to.
Yeah, now it's down to 14 hours. Well, 14, 15 hours, give or take. And so now what's that doing is that the plant is able to shut down. Like I said, the tank is actually cycling. And so we're, in a sense, we're taking pressure off the wells when we're knocking out these leaks the way we are. Okay. And so this is something that we got to constantly focus on because right now the challenge is really detecting visible leaks. And so another thing that we're addressing day to day, and I'm doing this personally, is killing old lines. All right. So in West Helena, we have a system to where new lines were laid and the old still exist. They overlap. So the ideal is to make sure that we're killing these old lines they're causing leaks and we don't even see them. But now that we're seeing that we have lines that are not in the blueprints, valves that's not in the blueprints, as we are locating and finding these things, we're only helping this distribution system. All right, along with laying new lines. And so we're going to move into not only fixing these troubled areas, but making sure we're just putting new lines in while we're in this area. And so this is not an overnight fix.
It's not gonna happen in a week, it's not gonna happen in a month. But by case to case basis, if we're just laying newer lines with 2 inches or even, if we have a situation with a 6 or an 8, we're making progress. And so the short term is leading up to the intermediate, which is getting to the long term. Anyone have any questions?
I just want to tell you congratulations and keep up the good work.
I will.
I think
Thank
you've been
you.
transparent and see we cycling. We hadn't heard that in a long time.
Yes,
So I think
yes.
you do deserve a hand for the right. Keep punching. I tell you, keep punching, keep on doing what you're doing. And the whole water department staff, I mean, they deserve a hand too, because without the whole water department behind back and rural water, everybody at this point, we just gotta keep punching. I don't care what it is that you need, let us know, keep talking, make sure that this body understands what's going on. So as long as you punching, we make a headway like this, and I just want from my office to the water department, the people understand. I can say, I hope I can say this, that the water department, thank you all for doing what you all doing, all of our departments. But you don't know how important water is if you don't have it.
Until you don't have it. Exactly.
I heard a speech today about having lights. You get some lights. I speak about gas. And then when I heard about you reach down to get some water, ain't none there. You value. So I just want to tell you all, thank you for what you all are doing, and thank you for turning. Putting your hands on this department.
That's it. And it requires a lot of attention that we cannot let up off. And so you will be seeing me on the ground a whole lot with the support of the chief of staff and the mayor office, the engineers, everyone. We're all playing a part in this. And so I'm glad that with this support, I will be able to be hands-on with everything moving forward.
Just keep rocking this baby.
That's it. All right, thank you.
I believe the last item on the agenda is a report from the police department. There's some invoices on your desk. The mayor said those are FYI at this time. He's not asking you to take any action on them. And certainly if you have any questions, you can call him or me or the accounts payable clerk about those if you got any questions. But or if you need more information, because one of them didn't have detail, I know. All right, so at this time we call the police chief.
So good evening to members of the council. I need to ask the city attorney a question, I guess, before I get started. Yes, sir. Are we here to do the personnel matter or what are we?
Yeah, no one asked one asked to be here. Did any other one ask to be here?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to anybody about being here tonight.
Okay.
Two.
Oh, two are here. I can't see the second.
There's two officers here, yes.
Okay.
Are we in open session?
No, sir. If you're going to discuss the issue, you have to go into executive
Is there
session.
a motion to go into executive session?
Someone.
Mr. Anthony moves to go into executive session. There in a second. Mrs. Harris seconds the motion. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. St. Columbia,
Yeah.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
5 yes.
Everyone has to leave the room except for the two police officers, the mayor, the chief of police, the city council. Including city attorney, is discuss potential discipline for two police officers.
It's all tabled to the 20th. It's tabled to the 20th. Yeah, I'll get you another copy tomorrow.
That motion,
Executive session.
Mr. Anthony, move that we come out of executive session. Dr. Miller seconds the motion. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. St. Columbia, that you re-enter regular session again out of it. Ms. Harris?
Yeah.
Dr. Miller? Ms. Miller? Mr. Etherly?
Yes.
5 yes.
And there was no action taken. So. So this is what happened is actually no action was taken at this time. So. So is there a motion is there anything else?
That did the motion come out of executive session.
Done it, yes.
You said no action was taken in executive session.
Yes.
And you completed your agenda.
Yes.
So it's time for you.
We-
Wait, what's Clan? What's Clan?
We need to discuss that.
We need to discuss that.
Oh,
So you're not gonna do it now?
we can.
I don't know what it is.
I'll second that motion. Yeah, I second. Dr. Miller moved to adjourn and I second this motion. Yeah.
Move to adjourn. Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Everybody say aye.